to my channel. I am Elise, founder of Letters for Life, and today we are going to be talking about how to study for staff sergeant. A lot of people are studying, you're trying to make the next rank. I was actually able to make staff sergeant on the first try. I wanted to kind of give back to other people and just to let them know how I was able to make it, and just to give tips, different ways, different tricks that work for me. This is my experience. This is how I study. So some of the things you may be able to take away, and then some things you may not be valuable to you. But in all, you can all learn something from it. So let's go ahead and get into the video. So number one, the location in which you study. So a lot of people study in different atmospheres. Some people like a lot of noise. Some people like very quiet and discreet. Just choose a location and just know where you study at the best. So for me, I like to study at coffee shops. I feel more studious whenever there's other people around me studying. I like to study at the library. I do study in my apartment every now and then whenever it's literally like too cold, it's too rainy, your girl ain't trying to leave the house. So I do study in my apartment in those instances. But just know the type of environment that you like to study in and use that to your advantage. And then also, I would listen to music when I was studying. Not music that I know the words to, because that would throw me off and I'll be out there at Starbucks, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, that's my jam. I wasn't doing any of that. But I would listen to music with, first of all, that was instrumental, that didn't have any words to it. That was more like jazzy, kind of like those type of vibes. That's just what helps me the most, just to study that way. I'll actually link the playlist that I like to listen to on Spotify right here, so y'all can check it out. Let me know what you think about it. Another tip for studying for staff is just to eliminate all distractions. All distractions that you know will cause you to not focus on your school or focus on, the material. You need to eliminate your phone. Put your phone on silent. Put your phone away. Put your phone in a place that won't cause you to not interpret the information or to not learn the information. TV also is another one. Turn off the TV, unplug from social media, unplug from your family if you need to. You just need to get away. And that's the way that I was able to literally zone in. You have to be in the zone when you're studying this material, because you and I both know some of that material is just a little dry. So you literally had to take away any distractions. Anything distracting you, it needs to be taken out of the area, taken out of the way, so you can zone in and learn the material. So the materials that I use, so first and foremost, I'm a little extra. I'm just a little extra. And I like to make sure that I learn different ways to make sure that I understand the material. So the first thing that I did, y'all, I'm so embarrassed to say this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. The first material I used, y'all, was flashcards. I used flashcards to study. And this isn't even one part. This one is not even one half of the type of flashcards that I made. I made flashcards for every single section. This right here is for my CDC section. And this is, I think, the Air Force history. It was too much. I don't know who told me that I should make flashcards on the PDG. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. I literally have a whole box full of flashcards of the PDG, like a whole box, because that's how I learned. I learned through flashcards, and that's the best way of studying for me. But because I was learning so much information, making flashcards was honestly unrealistic. Like, I literally stopped halfway through because I was like, bruh, this is just not gonna work. This is not gonna work. Maybe for the most important stuff, yes, but flashcards for the World War I, World War II, Korean War, Gulf War, it just wasn't working for your girl. It just wasn't working. So yeah. The second one that I used was the book. So this is another one that I bought. I got it from the BX, and it includes a lot of good information. It ranks it by, what's important, if you need it or not. I highlighted in it, wrote in it, took notes on it. This is extremely helpful too. And I like this because it's something physical that I can touch and feel. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. It has a lot of good information in it. And I like the fact that I may be able to use this if possible. I'm not really sure, but maybe I could reuse this whenever I test again for tech. Another aspect that people use, I personally don't use it, was the audio. So they do have the PDG where you can listen to it as an audio, and you can listen to it when you're driving. You can listen to it while you're working out. I know a lot of people used it when they were sleeping, and I guess the theory behind it was that if you listen to it while you're sleeping, it kind of seeps into your subconscious, and you are interpreting the information while you're sleeping. I tried it once, and it's just not for me. I'm just not that type of person, and it woke me up and it stressed me out. Like, listening to the PDG and waking up is the most stressful thing for me, because like you fall asleep, right, and you snore, and you wake up and you like, World 3 wasn't in the Korean War, and I'm just like, oh, I want to go back to sleep. It's too stressful. It was just too much for me. I was like, oh no, waking up to hearing about World War II and World War I and the Korean War and the Gulf War and all that. I was just like, let me go back to sleep. Customs and courtesies, the flag, it was just too much for me. I can't do it. But if you're an auditory listener, listen to it. Take it all in. You can listen to it while you're working out. You can listen to it throughout the day. And if that's how you learn, that's just how you learn, and use it for your good. Third aspect that I used was the PDG Advisor. So the PDG Advisor is just an online computer-based program where you can study on your laptop, you can study on your computer, you can log in maybe while you're at work during lunch and also get some studying in. I really liked that one because it had games, it had quizzes, it had small mini tests, it had just different ways of studying on there. It's kind of pricey now, so you might want to save your coins for it. However, it's definitely worth it. Now, you do have to purchase that every single time you test. So the next time you test, to purchase an updated version of it. You can't just keep the same version. However, it's really helpful, and that's the most common, way that people actually study is through the PDG Advisor. The next one and the last one I used was the Promote app. This is the Promote app right here. And the Promote app is an amazing app that I was able to use that you can download onto your phone. The app has quizzes, it has flashcards, it ranks it by what's important to what's least important. And it's just a valuable tool because it's on your phone, so it's so convenient. On appointments or anything like that, I would just whip out my phone and just go ahead and start studying. You do have to pay for it. I think it was like $25. But once you pay for it, you don't have to keep repurchasing it every single time you test. And that's what I absolutely love about it, because it is very convenient. You can use it for the next time that you test. Some things were, being updated, so it's kind of like you have to wait till the version actually updates for your test cycle. But it also breaks it down now that you can do it even when you test out of cycle. It also has that same type of test on there. So it was just really good. I actually really enjoyed the material learning it that way, and honestly, they have flashcards on the app. So instead of making all these flashcards, I should have just studied the flashcards that were on the Promote app. But it's all good, though. I got these flashcards. Listen, me and these flashcards, we sticking it out. I done too much time and too much effort was put into these flashcards. My next tip is you need to make sure that you're taking breaks. When you are studying for tech or you're studying for staff, whatever rank you're studying for, make sure that you're taking breaks. You don't want to just study for 6 hours straight or study from early in the morning to late at night, because you are not learning any type of information in that in-between stage, because literally you're just taking the information, and you're going to feel overwhelmed with the amount of information that you're taking in. Take breaks. For me, I'm a morning person. In the morning time, I am like on it. My mind is more active. I have my coffee and I'm good to go. So what I would do is I would study maybe from 8 to like 10, 8 to 10. Okay, take a break. From 11 to 12 is when I eat lunch. I just decompress. I talk to family. I talk to friends. I calm down, get my mind right. Okay, and now I'm going to hit it back again from 12 to maybe like 3. And then after 3, I'm done. I cut it off. If you study all day, if you go hard all day, your mind is literally going to be like, oh my gosh, what are you doing to me? Like, give yourself a break. Give yourself time to actually just thinking about the material, to learn from the material, to just know the material. You can't cram it all in to the point where you start to feel overwhelmed. You can reward yourself for, your study habits. So say if you've been going really hard and you've been crushing it and you understand the material, reward yourself. So maybe the next day you've been studying hard, you can take a half a day. I ain't saying you take 2 or 3 weeks off now. You don't, all right? Nah. However, if you want to take half a day and you want to say like, man, I've been doing a really good job, and reward yourself with half a day or maybe even 1 day of not studying, okay, cool, do that. But get right back into the groove of things. Don't just take 2 or 3 weeks off and then you go back to studying and you forgot what you learned. So just make sure you reward yourself. Make sure that you are lenient with yourself as far as how you study and the amount of information that you have to study. So the next one should be common sense, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Make sure you prepare for the test. And when I say prepare, you need to make sure that you kind of give yourself a timeline of when you need to study, when the test is, and you need to make sure that you're giving yourself enough months in advance to study. So for me, I started studying in January and my test was in June. So that gave me 6 months to study and prepare. So in the beginning months, I was like, okay, I'm gonna kind of start studying. I'm just gonna review. I'm just gonna read information. Okay, at that 3-month mark, all right, now it's time to start going hard. I gotta go hard. I gotta make sure I understand this material. Start studying a little bit more longer and more studious during those 3-month periods versus me trying to study like that in January and me forgetting the information. Also, it's important to know which type of studier you are. Some people like to cram, and they cram right before the test, like a month into the test, and they just kill it. They kill it because that's the type of study person that they are. They know that, hey, at the last moment, I can understand the material and I'm good to go, and they crush it. And that's them, and that's nothing wrong with that type of studying. However, if it takes you time, comprehending it and, putting it into your membrane and making sure you understand the material, you need to give yourself time to learn the information. Don't just cram if you know you're not a crammer. Make sure you know which type of studier that you are. Last aspect is know when your test is, and also know which type of test you have to take. I cannot count how many people are like,
I got a test on my CDCs. I didn't know that. I test in June. Who? Nobody told me that in my leadership.
And at the end of the day, if you're in the military, you and I both know you have to look out for yourself. You have to make sure that you're on top of everything regarding your military career. Because at the end of the day, you still gonna get that test. And you can't sit there and say, well, my leadership didn't tell me, or I was never told that I had to test on my CDCs, or I didn't even know that my test was due today. These little small details, you need to make sure that you are aware of. When your test is, you need to make sure that you know what you're testing on. If you were testing on CDCs, PDG, you need to be studying CDCs and PDG. AFI, I had to study AFI for my career field. You need to know what chapters you need to know, or do you need to know the whole thing, or do you need to know some type of TO? All of this information goes into your test, goes into your score. It definitely ensures that you are able to kind of, put yourself out there and to exceed past what your peers are doing. Somebody in my test center, while I was taking the test, and they didn't know that they had to take a test on the CDCs. His leadership never told him that. Now, was he able to use, my leadership never told me as an excuse? No, he wasn't. The instructor who was passing out tests said, here's your test. I don't got to take a CDCs. Oh, you thought you didn't have to take no CDCs, but here's your test. And you still have to take it. So why not set yourself up for future success and just know in advance what you're being tested on? Go in that test room, be confident in your material, make sure you're studying the right type of material, and you will do so good on the test. Don't worry about it the day before. Do not study any type of material. The day prior to your test, do not study anything. Do something that relaxes you. Do something that you enjoy. You can go get a massage. You can go watch some TV. Go spend time with your family. Whatever to get your mind off the test. But the day prior, I'm telling you, or the morning of, do not review any type of information at all. You would go in there and you're going to have a sound mind. You're going to be clear. And you can just go in there and just knock it out the water. And honestly, I wish everybody nothing but success. If you are testing, if you are testing for the second time, for the third time, or fourth time, if you're just really worried about it, I'm telling you, you got it. All you have to do is just focus, learn the material, and do your best. If you need help, if you need more tips and tricks, don't be afraid to inbox me and let me know, hey, I'm having a hard time studying this type of material. How are you able to comprehend the information? And I have no problem at all helping anybody who needs help with studying, Like I said, I was able to make it on my first try, and all I want to do is just make sure that we all are able to make it on our first try. And I wish everybody who's testing nothing but success and nothing but good things your way. So, like I always say, I love you, but most importantly, God loves you. If you need encouragement, you know somebody else that may need encouragement, please write into my foundation, www.letitfly.net. I wish you nothing but the best on your staff testing, and you got it. I'll see y'all later. Bye.
I dream about it, I go get it, that's how I do it. Not in the stars, I'm not lucky, I just pray through.